Hi everyone and welcome to episode 49 of the Talk is Cheap show. Great to have you guys back. Looking forward to having another great show today, man. I'm looking forward to this one. But before we go any further, it's my pleasure and honour to introduce my co-host, resident expert and analyst, Mr. Curtis Shaw. In the house, what are you saying, bro?
What's happening, bro?
I'm good, man.
It's
I'm
a
good.
better week, innit, man? You know, well, football
Well,
terms,
you reckon?
it's a better
Yeah,
week,
football
innit?
terms,
Maybe not
better
in the
week,
world.
yeah.
The world's in a bit of chaos, but football.
Yeah, man. But
Something to smile about.
without any further ado, I'm also has great pleasure in introducing the esteemed journalist, broadcaster, live and direct from Africa, Kenya to be.
Hey,
Jordan Jarrett Bryan in the house. What are you saying, bro?
I'm good. I'm nice. What you lads saying?
We're just wondering if you're going to be able to come back in, man.
You know what? I might not be able to come back in, but you know what? How about this? I don't care. I'll happily stay here. I'll happily stay here. Let me give you a little something I'm working with. Look at that.
Oh, man. Look at that. Look at that, man. Wow, man.
Boris can keep me out. I'm nice.
By the way, happy birthday for yesterday, man.
Oh, love. Thank you very much, Curtis. Big up, love.
And that goes for myself as well and everyone here at AFTV, man. Wishing you
Love. Thank you very much. Big up.
Tell us how old you are, though. You know what I mean?
Say that again?
So you don't have to tell us your age. You're still...
No, that's it. I'm 37. I'm an old foot. I'm 37.
Yeah, man. Great to see you, man. But, so let's crack on with things then. News and notes, which is a section where we just look at stories that happened over the past week or so since the last show. I guess there's only one story in town, really, and that's the government announcement that from later on this week we're about to go into a second national lockdown. Quite depressing, really. However, there is some light at the end of the tunnel. We've been told that it will likely last for a month, although there's some speculation it could go on a bit longer. But at least this time, we've got some Premier League football. So professional football will still go on.
Yeah.
I know amateur football is probably not so good news. But so Curtis, man, what are you saying about that?
I mean, let's just hope it's 28 days, but at least we got football to watch this time. You know, the first lockdown, we had no football. I mean, if we got through that, we can get through this period. Yeah. You know, it's going to be difficult for people, but, you know, if we stick together, everyone, I'm sure we can get each other through it. So,
yeah, at least this time we've got, you know, we've been kind of prepped and we went through it before in March and April. So,
yeah, exactly.
Jordan, how's it going to affect you, bro? The lockdown thing.
The lockdown, I mean, if I can get back in indeed. For me, Laurie, not too much. I think it's going to affect a lot of other people more than me. A lot of my work I can do remotely. So podcasts, recordings, shows, it's not ideal, but I can still make some kind of a living on lockdown, although there's some things that I won't be able to do. But it won't affect me as much. I think it affects a lot of other people. I think also as well, guys, I don't know why football seems to think that it's imperious from this pandemic. I mean, it's great that football will continue. We love watching football, and a lot of our work and our lives, what we do, revolves around there being football games to talk about and analyze. But when the country's going into lockdown because this pandemic is a big problem, what makes the world think that football is exempt from every other profession? I know there's a lot more money in football that can do with testing and that sort of thing, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of months' time, football does get locked down again. I don't know. And I don't think it'll be a month. I think we're looking at 2 to 3 months minimum.
Wow.
So yeah, I think they're just saying a month to keep us hopeful. I don't see how could it be a month? We're not even into winter yet, and the numbers are crazy.
I think the thinking behind that, the government are suggesting that if we get the R rate down now, then at least the people out there can enjoy Christmas. We could get things going for Christmas. But you're right. After Christmas, I see in January, February time, it could well be another case of locking down again. So this could be a pattern that repeats itself over a period of time. So, but hey,
either lock off the whole thing and we all just go into lockdown and we take an economic hit and we all try and get the R rate down and the numbers down to 0, whatever it needs to be, or we all come out, continue and find practical ways of living with this pandemic while still earning money. It's for me, either or. This halfway house thing it's a bit weird for me. But anyway, that's just my opinion.
Okay, so let's move on then. We've got, because you know, that we could be debating this all day and still not coming to a conclusion. So, okay then. So moving on, we normally start shows like this by previewing the previous games. So obviously it was a big week last week. So I just want to get your thoughts briefly on the game against Dundalk, the Europa League game. Not going to spend too long talking about it because, hey, it is what it is. So who should we go? Who should we start with? We'll start with you, Jordan. The Dundalk game.
Yeah, pretty standard. I think. Yeah, pretty standard. I think it was Lee that said in his post-match fan cam that it's a little bit of a lose-lose because unless you win 10-0, you're not going to get any real credit. You're not going to get any real anything positive out of it. It was a pretty standard win, clean sheet. Few boys got a run out that haven't had a run out previously. I think it was much more about preserving the players that you want to have for the whole season. So giving certain players a day off. I think the team that wins the league this year won't be the team that has the best manager or the best players. I think with the team that actually manages their squad the best and has their best 11 fittest for the longest. And games like the Dundalk one are opportunities where you know this guy, that guy, that guy, that guy, I'm going to need for a very long season. Let's tap them out and tap them in again when needed. Those are the kind of games I think you need to manage your squad. But yeah, the game itself, not really much, no real massive takeaway from me.
Okay, Curtis?
No, it was like he said, you know, it was a game, unless you win 4 or 5-0, no one's going to really talk about it. I thought Pepe scored a good goal, Willett played well, Nelson played well. Clean sheet, but yeah, nothing major to talk about.
I would add, though, that it's an important game insofar as we need to be doing well in this competition.
Yeah.
We need to win it, really.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't detract from, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Still a game you've got to win,
exactly. Yeah. That's the point.
And as you saw with Tottenham, you know, you don't win every game in this competition, you know?
Exactly, yeah. You know what I mean? But,
I'm not sure, sorry, I'm not sure we do need to win this competition. You know, I think this is the one season this year where I would forego the cups because I think there's going to be so many games in a congested period of time. I wonder, and it's the league is so open so far, I wonder if it makes more sense trying to get top 3, top 2. Because top 2, top 3 for me is up for grabs. And I wonder if games like the League Cup, the Europa League, the FA Cup, those extra games are going to just eat into the energy and the resources of trying to maintain what's going to be a very difficult domestic season. So I'm not completely sure that I agree that the Cups this year, normally I would agree, but this year I wouldn't mind. The Liverpool win was great in the League Cup, but half of me was thinking, you know what? Could have done with coming out of that and just focusing on the league.
Do you not think with the Europa League, though, I can understand with the League Cup and that because there's no real gain from that in terms of Europe, but with the Europa League, just in case that top 4 did get a little bit sticky, it's kind of your backup option.
I hear what you're saying, Curtis, but I think this is the one year where I think top 4, there's about 8 teams. About 8 teams that I think could get top 4.
Yeah.
And I think Arsenal, if they really want to take advantage of this weird season, we should be looking top 2. We should be aiming for 2nd. And if you get 3rd, great. Don't get 3rd, 4th. Okay, cool, we'll take it.
Jordan, have you been drinking this afternoon?
I think we should go for it. I think we should go for it.
Why not?
We'll get to it. There's no great team this year, Curtis.
Slightly on that, with as far as to say, we haven't won a European trophy now for many, many years. So I think it would be nice if we could tick that box off by winning the Europa League. I was going to say we went close, but we didn't really go that close. Well, we was in the final. We got comprehensively beaten on the night by Chelsea in what was a ignominious night for the club. But if we could go one better and win it, that would certainly put a smile on my face. Wouldn't that, yours?
Normal years, yes. I'll say go for it, win it, we need it. But this year, there's going to be so many games in a very, very truncated season. I just wonder if you have to just really manage your resources. We haven't got the biggest and best squad. I just think we need to manage our resources as best possible. And I would manage those resources towards the league rather than other external cups. But, you know, we'll see how it pans out. We'll see.
Okay, then. So I think we can all agree then it was a fairly rudimentary 3-0 win. A good win. Wasn't a great performance, but a good win, and we topped the group, so we move on.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so let's start cooking, man. I'm looking forward to this part of the show. So, last Sunday then, big game against one of our traditional big rivals, Man United. Going into the game, there was a lot of trepidation, it has to be said, man. I mean, we weren't going in the best of form into that game, whereas Man United, they'd had some decent results. I mean, okay, they drew their previous Premier League game against Chelsea. They'd had two very impressive wins in the Champions League, notably the 5-0 thrashing of Leipzig. So a lot of people, myself included, were a little bit, well, there's a sense of foreboding. I know on the show last week, Curtis actually predicted that we would lose the game. I thought that if we come out of there with a draw, that we would have done well. But it seems that the man Arteta did his thing, man. He got everything going in the right direction, and we got a famous win. So let me just start by asking Curtis, when you saw the team sheet for the Man United game, what was your thoughts?
I thought the team was all right. I have to admit, I was a little bit worried about the midfield because I thought with us only having two in there, of El Neni and Partey, and Man U played a diamond 4 in there. So I thought at times we might get outnumbered in there, but the energy that Partey and El Neni showed, it kind of outworked what Man United had in there. So I thought the team selection was all right. I thought Pepe might have played, but then I think he went with Willian because of the work rate, and Bellerin was going to need his help. But yeah, the victory was. We'll come on to that, yeah. But the team.
So Jordan, when you saw the team, what was your thoughts? You thought he got it right?
Yeah, I did. I mean, there's always going to be one or two that I might be like, yeah, I might go with him over him. But I don't think we've got the biggest and best squad. So I'm nitpicking. But generally, yeah, I saw the team and thought, okay, I see what he's trying to do. Whether it works or not, we'll see. But I see what he's trying to do. Yeah, that team is probably 9 or 10 of the 11 that I would have picked. So no, pre-game, I didn't have any massive grumbles about the team that he picked.
Yeah, I think I pretty much agree with both of you guys on that. The team came out and I thought, yeah, that was kind of the team I was expecting him to play. Although I was hoping that Pepe would get a start, but I understand the reasons behind him going for Willian. So, yeah. Okay, then. So, right. The game itself. Who should we go first with? Let's go with Jordan. Tap in, man. Tap in.
Yeah, let's come to me first. I've got a lot to say to Curtis.
Yeah, I know you have. You've been WhatsApping us for about a week.
Well, listen, man, as I said before, we went into this game, well, certainly I did, with a sense of foreboding because we had beaten Man United on their ground in the league for a number, I think it's about 16 years. And I think I was saying to Curtis, I was actually at that game, Adebayor scored when we won the I think 2006, something like that. So, yeah, man, I mean, to go there and get the win was amazing. Like I said, I wasn't expecting it. And we hadn't won away in the league against a top 6 side for, I think it was about 29 games. So, again, I mean, I did see it coming. I'm more than happy to put my hands up and say that. But, Jordan, give us your assessment of the game in your articulate.
So I'll write through my points. I mean, first of all, I'm not going to lie and say that going into the game, I thought we'd win the game. But my big issue, and it's people like you guys, especially Curtis,
Here we go.
Before the game. Actually, it was after the Leicester defeat. I'm hearing Arsenal fans, Arteta, I'm not sure. No one actually said that if he loses this game against United, he should be sacked. But there was a lot of intimation that if he loses this game, boy. I'm like, hang on a minute. First of all, Leicester are no mugs. Should we have won that game? Yes. Was it a bad result? Yes. But this Arsenal fans are the most schizophrenic fans I've ever known. A lot of the thing that frustrates me about Arsenal's fan base and the reaction post-Leicester, pre-United, was we seem to forget all of the good things that Arteta's done in favour of the couple of really bad things that he's done. And that, for me, annoys me. People seem to forget as well, guys. Arteta's not 6 months or 9 months into a job at Arsenal. He's 6 to 9 months into a job, full stop. This is his first job managing. And I heard some respected journalists on Twitter going into the United game talking about, oh, well, you know what? he's pressure-wise, he's in the same category as Lampard and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. No, he's not. No, and I'll tell you why it's not. 3 reasons. 1, they've spent a lot more money than Arteta. B, they've been in their jobs longer than Arteta. And 3, and most importantly of all, he's got a trophy in the bag. So for me, this season is calm. Now, have there been things that you guys have highlighted on your show? I watch your show, I love your show. Have there been things that he's highlighted? Have there been things that you've highlighted that he's done wrong that I've been a bit like, that was crap, that was bad, why did he do that? Yes, totally. He's done some things that I think have been poor. No problem there. But it seems to people get loud when he does something wrong, i.e. a substitution or a selection or a formation. But we forget that he beat Man City and Chelsea to win a cup. We forget that he beat Liverpool, okay? A Liverpool side that were clearly drunk, celebrating still from their Premier League title win. We forget that he smashed Wolves. Was it 4-0 last season at Wolves? We forget that he has made us competitive again. I said on your show, I said to Robbie, I said to all my people, of all the things this year, guys, I want to see from Arsenal and Arteta, the main thing I want to see this year, just make us harder to beat. Just make us harder to beat. And the Man City game, people were saying, I've spoken to you guys at AFTV about that defeat. I wasn't happy that we lost to Manchester City, but what I was encouraged by was the fact that we were competitive, because as Arsenal fans, we still have PTSD from going to Anfield and game over after 30 minutes. Going to the Etihad 6-1, 6-3, 5-2. It's small steps. Give the man a chance. We will lose this game. We will lose more games this season. We will. We'll even lose games this season, guys. We probably shouldn't lose. But for me, I'm seeing progress from Arteta in that he's making us harder to beat. The Man United game, for me, was a really good tactical performance from him. But he doesn't get the credit because it wasn't spectacular. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't free-flowing, amazing football. But there was a plan. He made United look bad. In previous fixtures between us and United, in the last 4 or 5 years, in my opinion, it's been a question of the least crappiest team wins the game. 2 crappy, former great teams.
I could just interject there briefly before I give Curtis his right to reply. But I just want to.
No right to reply.
I just want to qualify a few things. I just want to qualify a few things. I think it's important to make it clear that on this show we were not hammering Arteta per se. It may have come up to certain people. No, but I mean, if you look at our show last week,
I watch your show every week. you guys were like,
the title of the show last week was Rumblings of Discontent, and I think that was quite an adequate title, and I'll tell you why. Because there are, as much as we appreciate what Arteta's done since he's arrived, and I want to make that clear, we are backing the manager. There have been 1 or 2 concerns, and some of those concerns have been growing louder over the previous weeks in terms of team selection. Team selection at times, substitutions. He hasn't been, a lot of people, myself included, I know Curtis feels that way as well, feel that he's not as proactive with his substitutions as he might be. There was a concern about getting the best out of Aubameyang. We feel he should be played more through the middle. There was issues like that we were concerned about. And those concerns were growing by the week, you know what I mean? And let's be honest, man. I hear what you're saying about we didn't get stomped by City 6-3 and that, but myself and Curtis and a number of others felt that in that game we were, and I'm going to let Curtis articulate that, we were passive. So, for example, the energy and zest and aggression that we played with when we played United, that was not there against City. The Leicester game was a different game. That could have gone either way. We had a goal disallowed early in the game, and I said on the show last week that had that gone in, or if that gets allowed, it could have been a totally different game against Leicester. And let's be honest as well, Leicester are no mugs. We've seen what they've done recently to Leeds, for example. So they are a good team. So yeah, I think it's important to make that distinction. We were not saying by any stretch of the imagination that we're not backing Arteta. We was just voicing and echoing the concerns of the fans. Right, Curtis, I'm going to give him his right to reply.
No, George, so obviously I get what you're saying. Obviously, when Arteta was appointed, I was a lot more pessimistic about it than you was. I was probably looking at it a little bit more negatively. But what I'm saying with him, I'm in full support of him, first of all. He's the Arsenal manager, and I hope things work out because I want stability at the club. But I'm a little bit different in that just being harder to beat for me as a fan is not enough. I feel like, I know he's new into management, but he's worked with Pep Guardiola for years. He's been a pro footballer at the top level for 10, 15 years. I feel that Arsenal now, you said yourself, this is a wide open season. If Arsenal get a decent run together, there's no reason we can't nick fourth or even third this season. So for me, I was looking at it at the start of the season like, right, we won the FA Cup. We saw shoots of hope and positivity. We've added Partey, who is a midfielder we've needed for years. We said it last time he was on the show. That was the midfielder we wanted. We've added Gabriel. We've kept Aubameyang. We've added Willian. To me, I wanted to see a little bit more like optimism in the performances. I felt like we went to Man City, although we lost 1-0, I felt like that was light work for them, honestly. I felt like Liverpool beat us 3-1. They missed great chances as well. I don't think that game was close. The Man United game was a bit of a turning point in that we played on the front foot. We made it difficult for them and we got the win we deserved. But I don't look at Arteta and think because you haven't managed before, you get a free pass because this is elite level football and Arsenal are a top club. If you're the manager, I'm treating you the same way as if, you know, Emery was in charge or Wenger. So, look, I am in support of him. I know at times maybe I've come across a little bit negative from him when he's made certain decisions like Willian up front or whatever. But I just wanted to see him be a little bit more positive in these big games. And I think at Man United he did that. So, you know, let's hope this is...
Do you know the difference, though? But you know the difference? That's a fair point, Curtis. The difference, though, between him being a bit more positive against United and a bit more passive against City, it's night and day. United are dog. United are awful. United are not a good team. So you're not going to go to Manchester City with that same approach because what would happen is we'd get slapped 6-1 and I'll be coming on here and you'll be giving my boy heat about going up there and being naive. What Arteta did was he saw what Arteta did the week before. Sorry, go on.
All right, so but just in response to that, so how come like West Ham can draw 1-1? How come Leicester can beat them 5-1? How come Leeds can draw with them, but we go there lose 1-0? I don't really see the positive in a 1-0 defeat.
Could I also add on that? That's a very good point that Curtis made, and in fact we did touch on that on the show. Is that fair enough what you said about City, but this is not the City circa a few years ago when they had the likes of Company and all those guys and Aguero firing.
They're still 4 levels above us. 4 levels above us.
No, remember, you just said earlier in the show we can get top 2. So
no, I agree, but on a one-off game, but this is the thing you're both missing. The big and made a point about he's judging him not as a rookie, he's judging like a manager, and I agree. The bigger factor than him being a rookie manager is it's not his team yet. That's Pep's team. That's Rodgers' team. That's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's team. This is not Arteta's team. And people say, oh, he spent money and he's brought in players. I still give him another year. This time next year, his own right back.
Can you just pick you up on that? Because this is another point we touched on the show last week, is that you're saying it's not his team and he's only just arrived and so forth. Was you aware of that stat that was going around last week, that in his first 26
one?
Yeah,
that's some idiot. That's some idiot stat. I'm not having that stat. No, sorry. No.
You're saying it's the idiot stat. It doesn't accord with
stats. Them, because there are other mitigating circumstances. One, in his first 26 games as manager, did Emery win a trophy?
No, but it was the start of the season, so he couldn't.
No, but the point is you got to factor everything in. That period of time was a period of time where Emery's got, was it 3 points more? Was it 4 or 5 points more than Arteta? But did you really believe that we were going somewhere with Emery? I don't think anybody really did.
That first season under Emery, though, people were singing, "We've got our Arsenal back." We went 20 odd games unbeaten. Aubameyang won the Golden Boot.
Schizophrenic Arsenal fans.
Okay,
that was game 4 or something.
Something else. Jordan, let me. I want to tax your brain on something else. So
let's go.
We know that so far in the Premier League, we've got the best defensive record in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But Adversely, we've also got one of the worst records in terms of scoring and creating chances.
Yep.
Give us your thoughts on that and how you think we can rectify that.
I love it, Laurie. I love it because I've been saying for years, going back to the last few Wenger years, I want Arsenal to be a team that's hard to beat because we've got a gunman up front, and you guys know that you guys are Team Aubameyang. I've come round to Aubameyang. Yeah, we've got a gunman up front. But if we can stay in games, this for me was a tactic at City. Just stay in the game at 70 minutes at 0-0, and we'll get one chance. We'll get one chance, and we've got a guy that can take it. So for me, the fact that we're more solid now, but we've sacrificed our. When you build a house, you don't, or you get a car. When you have a car, you don't get the rims and the fancy aircon and the fancy seats. You get a good engine, you get a good body, and then you put on the. So it's the same with this. Get a good defense, be hard to beat. Don't let a team take you for a joke. Last season, guys, I was seeing stats against the likes of Palace and Southampton. 18 shots on Arsenal's goal at half time. If that was City, I'd be pissed. But Palace, West Ham, all these mid-table, lower table, 18 shots on goal after an hour. No. So make us harder to beat. And if it means winning 1-0, I will take that. The problem with Arsenal fans is we're so spoiled and used to the glory Wenger years. We want the 4-0 expansive football to come back and win. But I'm saying, no, this is a new era. It's not his team. He's obviously decided, look, let me make this team hard to beat. Hard to beat, and we'll nick games. Just stay in the game and we'll nick them rather than get to half time and it's game over. And we're scrambling. So I'm cool with it.
Let me ask something, Jordan, quickly, man. Obviously, I get what you're saying. We do need to be harder to beat, and I know he hasn't signed all these players, so I get that. But looking at our team, if you've got Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe, Willian, these kind of attacking players, can he not be expected to also add some of the attacking quality to it as well? Why? You know what I mean? Can we not expect decent defense and a good attack as well?
I don't think it rarely, Curtis, for me, in my experience watching football, when a new guy comes in to build his team, it's very, very rare that manager will get the balance of utilizing his attacking players and getting the best out of them while still being hard to break down, solid defensively, and keeping clean sheet. It normally works one or the other. And if you give that guy, if that guy is good enough, you give him enough time, and this was my point about giving Arteta time, he will normally get both right. Look at Liverpool 5-6 years ago. The Suarez season, banging in goals, breaking records for goals. Was it Sterling, Suarez, and Sturridge scored like 90-something goals, something stupid. Didn't win the title because they were winning games 5-3. So I'm just saying to everybody, and I watched DT's show with Robbie, the podcast they do a few days ago, and DT was saying all the things that I agree with. The fan base, just be patient. Just be patient. There'll be some horrible defeats along the way, but I'm still seeing more bad than good. If it was like at United, I get why they're pissed at Ollie, because there's more bad than good. But I'm seeing from Arteta more good than bad. So I'm saying give him time. Give him the time to make mistakes. Give him the time to make a bad substitution. Give him the time and learn from that. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's a lot to expect a new manager at a big club to rectify us being a joke at the back and scoring goals up front. I think we need to just give him a little bit of time to rectify both ends, and it might be one at a time. And of the two, I'm happy to pick defense first, attack second.
George, let me ask you one thing. You said that you believe Arsenal can even potentially finish top two, right? If things work well, right? If Arteta does not get in the top four and he doesn't win the Europa League, would you sack him?
No. Because in the first 6 months of it, if he finishes 10th, then it's a question. You know what I mean? But if he finishes 5th, 6th, and has a respectable run in the cups, no, because we sack him and then what? I see enough. Maybe you don't. I see enough in his tactical acumen, the lessons that he's learning, to believe that with another year, with another midfielder next to Partey, with another right back, with another centre back to go next to Gabriel, I think at this time next year, if he's backed, could have a team that could contend for the title. I'm not on this 2 year and we don't see results. He's got a cup. He's already got a cup in the back. That should get him. That should get him a year in the race at least. Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't sack him, no, because I'm seeing enough goodness to make me believe that if he's backed with the right players, I've said to Robbie, the day we signed Thomas Partey, we were celebrating because we know how good he is and how important he is to us. What the board should have been doing is wrapping up a striker, a right back, and a central midfield creative player for next season. Those deals should be getting done now for next summer. Do you know what I mean? Back Arteta. Back him.
No, okay, let's look at what we've done so far this season then. So we've had 7 games or so. We've had 4 wins. Fulham, West Ham, Sheffield United and Man United, and we've lost to Liverpool, Man City and Leicester. So
no shame in those defeats.
So how do you think he's done then overall so far this season?
If I was to grade him so far in like a school report style, I would say so far for me, it's a C. It's a comfortable C.
Yeah, so is that not
comfortable C?
Curtis was saying.
Middle of the road.
That's what we've been saying. I mean, listen.
No, I
the game with Man United, okay, I think we were entitled to ask questions because we hadn't been performing that well. We'd lost 2 games on the trot. The City game, I mean, I know we spoke about this earlier. You seem to be of the view that we didn't get beat 6-3 or 6-1. Myself and Curtis, especially Curtis, he was like, you know, it was a 1-0 defeat, but we shouldn't let that fool us because we were pretty much well beaten. We didn't. Let's be honest, we didn't really lay a glove on City, and it was disappointing.
But on that point, for me, it's small steps. So next season, go to City. I might be expecting, you know what? Let's leave with something. If he loses next season at City and hasn't kicked on, I might be like, okay, well, hang on a minute, come on. But it's the first year we've gone to City, not been slapped.
City have not been. The point that we were trying to make is that City are not anywhere as strong this year as they've been previous years. So we rock up there, and if we've got our attitude and our mindset is right, we should be able to do better than what we did. And so that is why we were quite happy, or more than quite happy. We were well happy with the performance on Sunday against Man United, because a lot of the things that we didn't do, the energy, the zest, the aggression, are the same things we showed in that United game, and we came away with a win. You know what I mean?
I think we're winning the games, bar Leicester. What I want this year, guys, is win the games we're supposed to win, and the teams that are better than us, if it's, you know, make sure if they're going to beat us, it's not a disgrace. Losing 1-0 to City is not a disgrace. I never think a loss is a good result. If you lose, you lose. That's never a good result. But what I'm saying is it's baby steps. And, you know, going from 6-1, 6-3 to a 1-0 defeat, that's progress. Next year, now get a point. Now go there and get a point and play well and really go up another level. That's my, you know what I mean? Liverpool, now go there and make it closer. It's small steps. It takes time. Go there with your team next season, and I expect more. The bar then goes up a little bit. But for now, there's no shame in losing 1-0 at City. I agree, this City team isn't the City team of old. It's still levels above us. I think the reason why I think second's up for grabs is because, call me crazy, I don't think it's a guarantee City get top 4 this year. They probably will. But I don't think it's a banker. City get top 4.
Isn't that a slight contradiction? Because you're saying that they're levels above us, but then you're saying we can get a top 2 place. So
no, but I think Wolves can get top 2, top 3. I think Chelsea can get top 2. There's a lot of teams I think can get top 2, top 3. Even Liverpool, I think they'll get top 2 this year. But would you put your mortgage on it?
No, I wouldn't. No.
Exactly. This year there's no serious team.
And that's what I'm saying.
Better teams than Arsenal.
We're disappointed with the approach in the City game because
they're still better than us.
Season we're saying this season is a season like any others. We've seen it in the results. That's been borne out in some of the results we're seeing. Adding into that the fact that on that day City had no De Bruyne, Aguero was not even 50% fit that day.
Opportunity missed. I hear that.
And we were critical of Arteta because we were saying that wasn't so much the team formation was wrong, the mindset was wrong. And I think that's what disappointed us. Whereas, by contrast, in the United game, it was the opposite. They went there, they played with aggression, they played with zeal.
Because it's Man United. Because it's Man United. They're dead. I would expect you to go to Old Trafford and stick it on them.
To be dead before you do that. You should be doing that every week. That's what we were.
No, that's how you get slapped 6-3 by a better team. That's how you get beat up 5-0. And I'll be coming on here and you'll be saying, oh, it's the same as Emery. It's the same as Wenger. When 1-0 is not the same. If we went there with the same mindset, we would get torn apart. City have dropped off 2 levels, granted. They're still 4 above us. So what I'm saying is, even a weaker City team, and I accept it was a missed opportunity to get a point from there. I'm not pissed about that one. I saw Mo's fan cam and he nailed it. It's one you take on the chin. We could have got a point, we didn't. There's no disgrace there. Take it on the chin. There's other games I'm looking at and thinking, I expect to win there. I expect to win here. That wasn't one of those. If you lose at Old Trafford, that for me is a game where I'm not even if we lost at Old Trafford to United, I still back Arteta, but I'm a little bit more like, boy, this United team ain't good. You got to win that one. Whereas at City are a proper team, man. They're a proper team still. So I think you're being a bit harsh. I think you're expecting a little bit too much from a manager and a team that is still in a learning process. PTSD. We've gone to these grounds and got slapped up after 15 minutes. Come on.
You're right in that sense. You are right. What give because I'm just trying to hear it from both sides. Like what gives you so much hope and belief in Arteta? What makes you see him differently to how he saw Emery or Wenger at the end? What
They respect him. They respect him. First thing is they respect him. The players. And not only the players, not only the players, Curtis, the board respect him. Because if they didn't respect him, they wouldn't have got party done. Facts. They wouldn't have got party done. If they didn't respect him, he showed them, I've given you an FA Cup in my first 6 months as manager. Give me my players, man, and let me kick on. The board respect him. The players, Emery was never respected. They didn't respect him. They were openly mocking him. They didn't respect him. So what gives me hope?
Actually, on that, interject there. I was going to ask a bit more in the piece, but I'll ask you now. How do you? Because one of the areas that me and Curtis had touched on in previous shows was his man management of certain players. So, for example, you can go back to the Guendouzi thing, the Ozil, Saliba, the Pepe, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. They're all little issues there. How do you think,
one by one,
you back what he's done in all of those scenarios?
Ozil, 100%. Board talking about Ozil. Guendouzi, 150%. You're some little you that's coming to this team, and you think you're some Don. You come in there playing like you've done nothing. You're Matteo Guendouzi. You're a decent young prospect. Relax, fall back. Get out of here, man. Who was Pepe?
He was out of here,
yeah, good. No, I'm fine with that. The Pepe one is an interesting one.
Hold on 1 second. The Ozil thing. So myself and Curtis spoke about this on the show. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it very quickly. Did you believe then Arteta when he said that the decision to dispense with Ozil from the squads was his decision? So your thoughts on that?
So Arteta for me played a blinder. That was a PR masterclass. He should go to if he gets fired at Arsenal, he should go into the government. He would be a great politician. It was a great move. What he did was he said the PR line, it's for footballing reasons, even though we all know it's not. But he also then said, I have failed him. So he said, put it on me. He said, put it on me. I'll take the heat. I failed him.
Or did the board say we'll put it on you?
Sorry.
Did the board
say again?
You go out there.
If you want to keep this job, you better take some heat for us.
Was it him who said put it on me, or was it the board that said we're putting it on you?
Maybe, but Arteta at Arsenal, to my earlier point, with the board, he's player of the month. He's popular, so they've got a good thing going on there. Clearly, it's not for footballing reasons. I know for fact that the club were very, very pissed off about him not taking a pay cut, and the China thing was an issue. But I think what Arteta's done in his short time at Arsenal with the FA Cup is shown that if you back me and take my side, I can take this club forward. Or you can back a man who's got a year on his contract left has been ineffective for the best part of 4 years and die on that hill. So I thought that the whole Ozil thing was a masterclass in how to take the responsibility, even if it's not your fault, but move on. He's not in the squad. It hasn't worked out. I'll take the heat. I got the best out of him. Let's move on. That's my stance. I thought it was brilliant. The Pepe thing is interesting. So I've said to you guys before, this is now 4 managers, including Lundberg, that haven't quite been sure about Pepe. And there's 5 men in the league this year I'm looking at. One of them is Pepe. I've not written them off, but I'm looking at him hard. There's something I'm not convinced about with Pepe. There's something not quite right. He's a £72 million player. I know people say, oh, the price tag, nothing to do with it. What it does for me, you've got to perform. You're not some kid that's come through the ranks. You're a record signing. And one great goal every now and again for me isn't enough. If I'm going to be fair and balanced, what I would say is, maybe what I've just got to do, give him a run. Just give him 5-6 games starting. Give him a run. Just give him a run and see what he can do with a run. Because maybe the confidence is so low. Yeah, I heard your show and I agree. Give him a run and let's see what he can do. But the fact that there's 4 managers that haven't been...
What about the Ainsley situation? That's a weird one.
Yeah, it is a weird one. It is a weird one. That one I have no answer for.
This guy's played more for England recently than he has done for Arsenal.
Yeah, he has. But to your overall question about man management, you've named 4 players. I can counter that by giving you 4 players that he's managed brilliantly. How about Saka? How about Luiz? How about Xhaka? How about?
I'll tell you where I'm really impressed with him is El Neni.
How about Onene? There's 5 players I've named so you're never going to get everyone on side.
Of course, yeah.
But he's got to be ruthless.
Question for Jordan, right?
No, so what I was just going to say then, what's your hopes for the season then? I know you said we can finish in the top 4, but what is your realistic target for us then?
Position-wise or overall?
Yeah, like where do you think like we should really be aiming to finish or what to win around top 4?
I think we finish top 4, Curtis. And I think if we don't finish top 4, I'll be disappointed. I'm looking at the league and I'm seeing better squads than us. But I'm not seeing many better managers than us than what we've got. I'm seeing 3, maybe 4 at a push that are better than Arteta. So if we don't finish top 4, that for me would be a disappointment. Overall, what I'm looking for this season, Curtis, the young players. Make Holding an England international. Make Holding an England international. That for me would be a tick. Make Saka a guaranteed starter, not rotated. Make him one of the best young players in Europe. Move on all the deadwood goes because Mustafi and Ozil, their contracts run out anyway. So what I want to see overall is can he improve our young players? Can he get the best out of our record signing, Pepe? Can he continue to make us hard to beat? And one of the good things about what you guys mentioned earlier on is we've gone to Anfield, the Etihad, and Old Trafford. So those guys are to us now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So how many hard away games on paper are there really left?
Yeah.
Leicester, Wolves, Spurs. Do you know what I mean? So I'm looking for an identity. I'm looking for an improvement on our young players, and I'm looking for him to solidify our defense. By next year, I need to know who's our back 4. By the end of the season, I need to know who's our back 4. If you can get those things right, that for me would be, with a top 4 finish, a brilliant season.
One thing I do agree with you there is I think that we do have to stick with him, even though I've been critical of him at times as well. I don't think we can just say, oh, he's had a bad year, move him on. We haven't got the money to just buy our way out of that situation. So I think he's got to at least have until the end of next season before we make any judgment on his job.
Okay, guys.
I agree.
Okay, so we're coming towards the latter part of the show now. Great debate so far. And I'll tell you one thing, Jordan, if Arteta's ever looking at this and needs somebody on his PR team.
You're the man, mate, JJB.
Them man can't afford me. Them man can't afford me. Don't worry about that. My day rate's too much.
But you know what? It's very good to have you on and to hear your opinions and to put the other side of the coin, so to speak. So that's great. So moving on then. So another segment of the show that we always like to incorporate is looking at the games coming up in the next week. So we've got 2 games. We're starting a Europa League game later on this week against Molde. Funny enough, that's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's previous team. Right, having a look at them. They're currently second in the Norwegian League. They played 23 games, won 15, drawn 1, lost 7. They're currently second in the Europa League as well. They played 2 games. They've beaten Dundalk and Rapid Vienna. Don't know too much about it, but I would have thought that should get a win.
Yeah.
Curtis,
Yeah.
start you.
This is, yeah, I mean, I would expect a 2 or 3-0 win. Give you like some Nelson, Willock, those guys a game. I mean, obviously they may be a little bit better than Rapid Vienna and Dundalk, but
I think they are. Yeah.
I think it'll be 3 points, and that pretty much secures qualification with 3 wins out of 3.
Jordan, very quickly on the Molde game.
Just briefly, yeah. These are the games, weirdly enough, guys, that I'm looking at Arteta more than the league ones, because these are the games we should be winning. And I think one of the big blemishes on Arteta's record, where I will give him heat for, is last year's Europa League exit. That for me is unacceptable. That was unacceptable. So these are the games where I'm expecting Arteta to plan and to execute a win that is without any drama. I don't want to see no 4-3 win. No. Go get the job done, get the 3 points, make it not a story. Because one thing I'm loving about Arsenal so far this season, we're not really a story. Sorry?
With respect, man, I'm going to put your collar a little bit there, because earlier you said that the cups weren't that important. Okay. I'll if I was we're just suffering from something.
Get inside, man.
Maybe I am. No. Listen, if I was the manager, if I was the manager, I personally would make a beeline for the league and sideline the cups. But I'm not. Arteta, I think he will go for the Europa League. So I'm just kind of giving my opinion on what I think he will do. And I think what I hope he does, if he's going for it, make those games food and drink. Do you know what I mean? Make those games not a story. I don't want to hear about we scraped a 4-3 or we scraped a 1-0 or 1-1. Get a 3-0 win, get in, get out. Those are the games where I'm going to judge him as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, and the other thing as well, it gives him the opportunity to look at other players in the squad who are not getting a regular first team play. Them games
shouldn't get a section on your show.
That's
the point I'm making. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, and so then moving on then, I think this is a big game, because we're playing Villa at the weekend, and there's no point in going to the likes of Man United and beating them and everyone's, hooping and hollering, and then the next week you go and lose to Villa or don't get the result you want against Villa. So this is quite an important game, and pulling up some receipts on Villa. They've done quite well this season. They've played 6 so far, won 4. They've beaten Sheffield United, Fulham. Of course, they had that great 7-2 win against Liverpool. And they've beaten Leicester as well. So these are no mugs. They've lost a couple of games. They lost 3-0, and they've lost to Southampton. So they do concede goals, and they are beaten. But they do score quite a few goals. And they're not a bad team. Curtis, what do you think?
You know what? This is the type of game where I really judge Mikel Arteta, because what I want to see against these lesser teams, I know they've had a good start, but they are a lesser team. I want to see us have control of the game. I don't like it when we play like West Ham and United out of control, like we're going to try and nick a goal, but the game's all over the place. I want to see us keep the ball better, make Aston Villa do the running around a little bit, and international breaks after this. If we can secure this victory on the back of Man United, hopefully beat Molde, we go into that international break in a very positive manner. So I want to see a good performance, and a win will be great, but I want to see a more controlled victory in this.
My man, tap in.
I totally agree. And I said to you on the first, I think last season, for me, performances over results. This was obviously pre the lockdown or whatever it was. But I'm looking for the same thing. Go into that game and control the game. Arsenal need to go in. What I liked about the game against United was we controlled it. We were in control. At no point did I think we were gonna concede, or if we did, lose the game. Control the game. Show Villa, no. We're here now. Yeah, we're here. Villa have had a good start to the season, but we make, to my very first point on today's show, there'll be games this year we'll lose. There'll be games this year we'll lose that we probably shouldn't lose. I'm not going to lose my head over if we lose 1-0 to Villa. If we lose 3-0 to Villa, 4-2 to Villa, then that's unacceptable. But I'm looking for him to go into this game and look at how we can dominate this game, continue the progress of Thomas Partey. Aubameyang's got his goal. That's, first goal in a while in the league. Let's get Lacazette banging because we need goals from other areas as well. Yeah. Let's see if we can get Pepe integrated somehow into this team. And more importantly than that,
you could keep the same team as well, or would you make any changes for this week?
I would keep it. I would keep it, Laurie, because I'd keep it. I don't see any real need to change the shape of the team. The team you'd think is still buzzing off of beating United at Old Trafford and ending that run. But Villa, I've been harsh on Villa and Dean Smith this year, or pre-season anyway, in my predictions. But Villa are no mugs as well. Villa can upset a man. And they lost 4-3 to Southampton their last game, so they'll be looking for a reaction as well. So I'm looking for us to control this game and really defensively, again, make us a team that teams know. You come to the Emirates. Is it the Emirates, isn't it?
The Emirates, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You come to the Emirates, you're not going to get anything. And if you are, you better bring some rock. Anyway, you better bring something. You know what I mean? Because that's what I'm looking for. You better bring it. And I think if we have that defensive solidity, like I said, with the likes of Aubameyang, with the likes of Lacazette, Pepe, whoever, we've got the guys that we will create a chance, and invariably they'll score it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're coming to the end of the show, man, and it's been great to have you on. I've really enjoyed listening to your opinions and your forthright.
I love it, man. I love you too, man. You're often wrong, but I love you too.
Feelings mutual, bro.
Yeah, man, it's been great to. And like I said, to qualify things, previously we've aired out our concerns. There were rumbling concerns.
Laurie, Duff protests too much.
No, we're happy with what we do, bro. We're happy with what we do. We try to be fair. And one thing we always encourage in this show is I always encourage, not that I need to, but I want him to be forthright and speak his mind and not.
I'm messing.
And you'll be happy to know that the title of this show is, what will you say? Arteta takes control of the wheel. So you see,
there you go.
Yeah, he's taking control of that wheel that Ollie was using. So yeah, man. So, but listen, man, thanks very much for your contributions, and we hope you get on well over there. We seem to have lost him briefly, man. So yeah, thanks to Jordan for that.
Jordan.
Curtis, tell the people what you'd be up to, bro.
It's amazing. And the other big up, I just say big up to Troops, who I know is off to America very soon. I think it's this weekend or very soon. Obviously, he's been a big part of your platform and your channel. Oh, have I frozen?
Yeah.
Have I frozen?
And we will relay that message.
Yeah, man. Big up Troops, by the way, man. All the best to Troops on his journey in America. Everything he's done on the
Yeah, man. I'll touch Troops. Big up to you, man.
Yeah. Obviously, in closing, I was going to say that. Yeah, big up Troops. Great guy. Wish him all the best. His contributions to AFTV over the years have been massive. And I'm sure he's going to do very well in his adventure. No doubt. So he goes with all of our blessings. 100%.
And a cheeky plug, guys. Sorry to cut you off again. Black Academic TV, linked up with AFTV, Black History Month Sports Quiz. It's on my platform, Black Academic TV. It's on your platform, AFTV. If you haven't checked it out, we had some fun with a little sports quiz. Go check it out, everyone. And yeah, we had some fun with that. We might do it again. So Black Academic linked up with your platforms. Yeah, man. Big up. Sorry.
Respect. Yeah. So listen, guys. Thanks very much. Keep yourselves.
I'm going for a swim.
COVID-free. Hope to see my man Jordan back in the UK.
But now come back. I'm going for a swim.
Wow, man. Well, you've got us all jealous over here, man. But yeah, man, great. And my boy Curtis, man.
Yes, man.
Respect. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, we might be back online with the shows.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, man. And people out there, take care of yourselves during the lockdown. Please join us next week for more good stuff.